Well, hey folks, welcome back to the Good Life Outdoors. It's been a little while since I've shared a video of smoking meat on my Weber kettle grill using the snake method. So I'm doing a pork butt today, but I'd walk you through the process of doing that. It'll be kind of a quick video, kind of an overview. If you want to see kind of a longer form one that shows a little bit more detail, I'll link to that video somewhere up above me here. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on showing you from the beginning how I get this set up and cook some really good meat. I'll start by getting my 22-inch Weber grill all cleaned up and ready to cook. Now I like using Kingsford charcoal for my snake cooks. You'll also need some sort of wood chunks, a charcoal chimney, and something to light the charcoal with. Don't use lighter fluid. We'll go ahead and get started on building the snake. Like I mentioned before, I like using Kingsford charcoal because it's a nice uniform size and you get a nice uniform burn out of it. I've found in the past that if you try to use something like lump charcoal, you're not going to get as consistent of a result as you do with the actual uniform size of the Kingsford. I'll build my first row 2 charcoal briquettes wide, stacking them as closely as I can, as evenly as I can. I'm taking the time of pulling out only the whole pieces of charcoal. That way, as it's burning around, each piece lights uniformly and burns uniformly all the way around. So I'm going to stop the charcoal snake here and begin working on the second level. Now again, I'm going to do this 2 briquettes wide, nice and tightly packed all the way around. Now building this charcoal snake 2 briquettes wide and 2 layers tall allows me to maintain a temperature while I'm cooking about 250 degrees. Now that may swing as low as 225 and as high as 275, and I'm okay with that. But this gives me a nice consistent temperature right in the sweet spot of smoking meat. So I'm really taking my time to make sure this charcoal snake is nice and neat and even. And even doing so, this only took about 5 minutes to build this out. And at this size of charcoal snake, I should be able to get about 10 hours of cooking time if I maintain 250 degrees. Now I'll start adding my wood chunks. I'm using hickory for this cook. I like the way it tastes with pork. You'll notice that I'm using some of the larger wood chunks at the start of the snake and then tapering them down to smaller chunks as the fuse burns down. And that's basically because while I'm getting smoke and heat throughout the entire cook, the meat is going to be absorbing less and less smoke as it cooks down. And so here it is. This is what a charcoal snake should look like for about a 10-hour cook. I learned this cool trick a while back with the charcoal chimney. If you're only needing to heat up a small amount of charcoal, turn it upside down. Give yourself a little base and then put your lighter in there. I like using these paraffin Weber lighters just because they last long enough to get everything started. Get it going, stack a little charcoal on top of it, and usually I'll use about 15 to 20 briquettes to get this kind of cook going, and that's usually about all you need. Once all the briquettes are lit, I use a pair of tongs to start transferring them over to the beginning of the snake and getting everything lit. This is the reason I put a big chunk of wood at the beginning, because as you start stacking the briquettes on top of it, it'll get lit. It's a larger piece of wood that'll generate a lot more heat and bring the grill up to temperature that much quicker once you close the lid. Smoking meat on the Weber grill using the snake method, I found it works a lot better if you have some moisture. So I usually place a pan right in the middle of the snake and fill it with warm water. Now this also catches a lot of the drippings from the meat while it's cooking, and it makes it cleaning up your grill a lot easier in the long run. Now for the most important part, the meat. This is about a 9-pound bone-in pork butt. It's going to make some darn good pulled pork. I did a dry rub of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of chili powder. That's it, nice and simple, and it'll turn out great. Now I just need to position the meat right in the center of the grill. That way it cooks evenly on all sides as the snake burns around. I use a wireless thermometer that has 2 probes. The first probe monitors the temperature inside the grill, and the second one is for the meat itself. I can program high and low temperatures for the grill into the thermometer as well as the desired temperature for the meat. On the grill side, if it gets below 205 or above 275, an alarm will go off and I can make the adjustments on the vents accordingly. On the meat side, I just have it set to 203 degrees, which means it'll be completely done at that point. So once I have the lid in place and make sure it's nice and tight, I don't open it again until the end of the cook. My bottom vent I keep in place at about a quarter of the way open, and I do all of my temperature adjustments using the top vent. If it needs to get hotter, I open it up wider. If it needs to cool down, I shut it down narrower. Now I use my wireless thermometer as the source of truth for this whole cook. I've got a transmitter that has the probes in there and it tells me what's going on inside the grill. So all I have to do is make my adjustments at the vent and not open the lid and lose all the heat. And I can monitor this all day long. So I know what's going on at each stage of the cook. Because from here it's a waiting game. You're just waiting for those temperatures to hit the exact right amount. You want to keep that grill between 225, 275, 250 is kind of the sweet spot. And with the way that I had the charcoal set up, I can usually keep that around that temperature all day long. All right, we've been in the mid 160s for a little over an hour now. We're definitely in the stall. So I went ahead and cranked the vents open so that we can get up a little higher in temperature, trying to get between maybe 275 and 300 for the stall, then I'll crank it back down. But it's going real well. We're about 6 hours into the cook, so yeah, everything's going as expected, and man, the smoke coming off here is smelling real good, so we'll just keep on at it. But thought I'd give an update about midway through this cook. Okay, we're about 10 hours into this cook, and the temperature is dropping pretty fast on the grill side of the thermometer, so I'm assuming that means our snake has pretty much done. I'm at 194 temperature. Ideally, I'd get just over 200, but I think it's close enough where I can go ahead and pull it, wrap it up, and put it in the oven just for a little bit, and then let it sit, and then we should be good to go to have some pulled pork here. So I'm going to get started on getting this wrapped up right now. I let the pork sit wrapped up under some towels for about a half hour, and now it's time for the moment of truth. And oh my goodness, does this look amazing. Now you've probably seen me using these bear paws throughout the video, transferring the meat from place to place, but where they really shine is shredding this meat apart. They do an awesome job. I'll put a link to the bear paws in the description below, as well as some of the other items I used during this cook. And if you use those links to purchase anything, it helps the channel out a little bit. So thank you. And there we go. Really good pulled pork on the Weber grill using the snake method. Pretty easy, takes a little bit of time, but man, the results are amazing. And yeah, it's super easy. If you have any questions about this method and how I get this done and get this gorgeous meat right here, ask down in the comments down below. If you like what you saw today, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I post new videos. I appreciate each and every one of you following along. Y'all get out there and live the good life. Thanks a lot. That's good stuff.